company to have like a support team that's able to like help, right? Because all of their stuff is automated. And sometimes there are like support, like customer support accounts, like that are actually people that are, like try to help out with things. But it is that loss of personal like level feel and like support, because instead of someone like like a Vicky or or Fede, right, who while they do have like hundreds of things and like cases that they go over manually every day, and thousands by the month, right, they are able to handle that, whereas like imagine if there was millions per day. So it's like it's a very different thing, especially like on the like scalability aspect. But I do agree that I don't like the fact that a robot like is the determining factor whether your support case and your support ticket gets seen by a human or not. Because like that's what that comes down to, and that's why you got to be careful when you do use like AI and stuff like that, because that's how stuff just
gets out of hand.
It just goes through the cracks.
So real quick, Marshall, please, I'm gonna invite you up, but 1 second, I want to shout out a young man in this room who's actually going to take part in that September 4th audio room. https.von is his username right now, Devon. He is in the room right now. If you all can do me one big favor, if you, actually, Devon, go ahead and comment for me in the comments. And if you guys can give him a follow, give him a fan base welcoming that he is. He's going to be coming up here on the 4th, talking to all y'all about this political system, and that takes a lot of courage. So I want to show him a good fan base welcoming. Okay. So
some questions about that. Yes. One is that when you said, "Oh, we have something on September 4th," I was like, "How did you know it's my birthday?" And you don't have to make such a big fuss about it, right? But then I realized you weren't talking about that. Anyways, I'm just playing. But no, I think that's great. I love it. I think that that's a great opportunity to engage young people who are mature-minded and could see the benefit of social audio and would want to take part. I think there's a market for that. I think that this is, I'm about to cook, y'all. So, I'm often, stating, and of course, Kyle knows this, and you probably know this too, Noah. I don't know your background directly, but rebranding is super hard. It's super hard to develop a brand and an audience and then want to move to a different audience. It's not an easy thing to do. And so if this is strategic, as far as trying to introduce young people, this is a great strategy. So whoever came up with that, Kyle, if that was you, I'm going to start calling you big dog Kyle or whatever the case may be. That's a great idea. Because what you have to do is you got to find the sweet spot. So one of the great things that happened with Facebook is that they were college-minded. I mean, they were, these were college students, and that they had some kind of connection, some kind of commonality, some reason to be together, to want to come together, and they found their path on Facebook. So I think that the same thing can happen. So taking advantage of this election, engaging young people, and then what will happen is once they find a place here, then potentially other elements of the younger market, kind of might tag along. So great job there. Second is that I wanted to encourage that if you're going to do this, we have time, right? So try to really, put together a database and send out, have a good platform and a good plan, and send out mailers, not mailers necessarily, but send out emails, make contacts, like really, really go hard with this. So whoever is responsible, I would start first with whatever major Democratic and Republican platforms, including those that lead their youth organizations, the Young Democrats, the Young Republicans, and whatever the case may be. So, and whatever other, bases of people. So I would say really drive it. And then my last question would be for Kyle is, will the RTMP connections be available by then, or is that still in the works?
Like, are they going to be available by September?
September 4th, yes.
That's I'm going to say probably not.
Okay.
I know
Kyle,
that
on my end.
Yeah, no, you were actually echoing with me a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. But I'm going to close my mic, just, you know.
I know that RTMP is coming before the end of the year, so I do know that. That's on our roadmap. That's been announced. It's like, you know, when we were talking about it and when I announced it, you know, those couple months ago, it was slated for, like, you know, before Christmas, right? As we're getting closer to that date, right? You know, 4 months out, right? From what I understand, it's going to be the top priority for kind of like the rest of the year, essentially, like for like next quarter, like having it launched and everything. But, you know, working on it takes a lot, because now we're having to add all this new stuff, and, you know, like figuring out like the servers, you know, and kind of like the capabilities and like what, you know, like we can and can't do, right? And it's tough. I wish I had a clear-cut answer on like when it's actually coming. I know that's not what you asked. You asked if it was going to be by September 4th, and so, you know, the answer for that is no. But I do like to kind of, when I explain things, I like to kind of give like the why and just some like extra context to, you know, help anyone better understand. So it is coming. We are wanting to get it like implemented as soon as possible, and it's not there yet, but I do know that it is going to be coming soon.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. I wasn't really sure. I never really kind of heard timeline. I knew it was coming soon and it was in the play. I just didn't know when. I just thought that this would be like a really great moment. But I do also want to make another suggestion. I think that if there's an opportunity to really be a little bit more strategic with outreach, because, like, you know, not abusing emails and like messaging everybody, but I think there is definitely like around events. I haven't really been seeing that. So I don't really see that in the social spaces and other social spaces. And I don't, you know what I'm saying? I know, like, you know, different people are kind of like, will come here, but for something like this will be a great opportunity to say, like, whoever's programming this or behind it, this will be a great opportunity to say, okay, let's promote this, get the flyer, let's get the messaging, let's put together a little kit, and then, you know, reach out, you know, to, you know, more people to see if they will come for the event. And then I would say that it would probably be great to, even if RTMP is not available, to simulcast on other platforms. And that might mean, you know, not necessarily like Isaac or yourself, but that may mean like reaching out to somebody on Clubhouse who is willing to stream like in their club or on Twitter, you know, maybe have somebody doing an Instagram live, and, you know, providing commentary and then providing an opportunity to listen. And and maybe there's not like enough time for that, but I'm just trying to give feedback on one thing that I think could drive, you know, more, you know, participation when there's a lot of focus around actual events. When something and somebody big is here, there's something that people can engage other than, you know, just being on the app. And lastly, you know, if there's, you know, obviously y'all can see I have my little logo on. So if there is any context that I can make, you know, let me know. I'm a resource, and whoever is responsible can, you know, DM me if I can be a support.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Real quick, I gotta say this. Y'all are goated. Thank you. Marshall, let's talk, bro.
Yo, what's good? I'm not driving anymore. Real quick, just before I get into the serious answer, y'all can't be dogging my guy directed by DNA like that, man. Don't be telling him to bring the camera and then just leave him out like that. I seen that content yesterday. I saw that. Don't be dogging my boy out. Nah, in all seriousness, I think you guys are doing an amazing job, and I just want to reiterate what I said in the comments and say the answer to how I would like to see AI implemented is really more of a tool and a resource to enhance what's already being done. I think it would be helpful for us in the search area as a user. I think it would be helpful in streamlining the shake your phone tickets. I think it would be helpful in a couple of different areas, so I can see where it would be beneficial long term, but I also know that it's not part of the roadmap right yet, but it's just a suggestion. And then the other thing that I would suggest is that we're able to share posts to either our stories or onto our page from other creators on platform. I really want to do more in terms of supporting my fellow creators that are on the platform, especially in the art area. So it would be really cool if we could share on the platform where it's available for kind of similar to what you're able to do on Insta and Facebook. I'll end up
here. Okay, I'm for it. Kyle, I know you probably have more opinions on it than I do if you want to jump into it. But yeah, I think definitely the streamlining of the help queue is definitely a really cool idea with that. So those are my thoughts. I definitely think AI implementation on the for content exposure is definitely a cool way to go as well. But those are just my thoughts. So, sorry, Kyle, you go.
No. I mean, I was just agreeing. Like, I mean, yeah, that's it's I would like to see, you know, stuff like that implemented, and just I think it would definitely help with quality of life. The sharing, I'm trying to think. Sorry for the pause. I was trying to think of when we last talked about sharing. We talked about it, man, what was it? It was either yesterday or last week on Dev Call, one of the two. But I know that feature has been requested and, you know, is on, it's on the board. I don't know where on the roadmap it is, but I know it's on the board.
I can't be mad at that. That's all I'm asking is just trying to continue to improve the app. And then one last thing that I just remembered, the last time that I talked to Rama, he asked me to mention to you guys, I would like to be on the beta testers for when RTMP gets ready to bring out the list. I really would appreciate it. Please and thank you.
Yeah, I did hear you say that. I know that there's been a lot of interest in being, you know, like an early tester for that, as expected, right? Just, you know, because RTMP streaming is like dominant in the social media or entertainment like world that we are in now, right? Like the digital media world. RTMP streaming is dominant, right? And I believe he said, what he say, Marshall? He said to reach out to support team. I think maybe that's where they're taking they're taking the names, like the usernames of like for the list of like testers. I think that's what he was saying. If you either email support or shake your phone and leave. Because, so just to give you guys like kind of like the, I want to say transparency on it, but it's not like we're hiding it, but it's just so you guys can make the connection, right? When you email support at fanbase.app, it's going to be like, you know, human read, right? The same way that when you shake your phone and support, you know, or send in a bug report or, you know, a ticket, that's also human read. Like everything's human read. And both of them are going to be read by the same people. So, you know, like when you do shake your phone and like, even if there's not a bug to report, right? Like if you just leave a message, you know, or, you know, whatever it is, like think of that basically as like an email to you're sending in something directly to the support team. So that way you don't actually have to email it and like worry about checking it, stuff like that. You know, just shaking your phone, giving a suggestion, you know, like that's just as powerful, right? So, you know, I believe if you do, sorry to get off on that tangent, I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood like that emailing support and then shaking your phone are the same thing. Even if you were typing just a message in an email, like asking about something or giving feedback, you could do the same thing, just all in the same spot, like inside of the app by shaking your phone. And then the early testers for features like that, I believe are also like stored with support team. So that's my best guess for that. I don't know anything more than that, but I do believe that that's where, you know, they look at it for. So yeah.
Bet. I'll do that today as soon as we get off the call or get out of the marketing room. Thank you for the feedback. If you can pass it along to Vicky and Bennett, also, I would appreciate it. I'll do my part though.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Then okay. Noah, I just saw you change the link at the top. I was actually gonna talk about something that was gonna relate to that, but so for the past couple of weeks, right, we've been talking about like I'm gonna be creating leaderboards for the app, right? I like to do everything that I possibly can do without having to involve other like departments, right? Like the dev team, right? Because everybody has a lot of, you know, work on their plate, and I don't like having to, you know, like tell someone else to like stop what they're doing and like prioritize this or this or this, you know, like because everybody has a flow. I don't like really disrupting flows. So I've come up with an idea on how to implement the leaderboards for right now, right? And I want to get you guys' feedback that are in here right now, just to hear if you think it would be good this way until I can actually figure out a way that it's implemented like fully inside the app, like it's all clickable, everything like that, right? So, idea. In the link that's at the top of the room right now is Creators in Focus. That is a page that was made by Maddie and Noah, right? And on that page, you know, we're like spotlighting different creators, you know, writing about, you know, everything like that. But I could see because I can do that. I can put the leaderboards on that website along with posting them to the Fanbase page. So like on Fanbase, right? Like where, you know, you can go to the Fanbase profile on Fanbase and look at the different leaderboard updates, right? And so those would be like, you know, the top creators in each of the verticals. And then the way that I want to do it personally is, while I don't want to take credit away from anybody, that, you know, like if there is, which I know there are creators that, you know, are in that top 5, top 10 range for, you know, several verticals, I want to use the leaderboards as a discoverability feature that we can implement relatively easy without having dev work. So I want it to be like, you know, one user won't be in each of the different categories. It'll, you know, just go to the next creator, right? So like it just helps visibility and discoverability for all creators. Like if you get on the platform, you know, and you love watching like Fanbase Plus videos, well, now you can see like the top 5 creators for Fanbase Plus. And then now if you've never heard of them or whatever, you can go find them and see what their content is. And then the other thing I was thinking about is kind of like how Twitch does their leaderboards and YouTube does their leaderboards for like, you know, the top gifters for subscriptions, top cheerers for like, you know, bits or like super chats on YouTube and stuff, you know? Like, what do you guys think about something like that, where there's leaderboards for all of the verticals, right? Like Flicks, Fanbase Plus, posting, you know, stuff like audio rooms, right? Lives. But then there's another leaderboard that's more like consumer / like community centric, right? Like for supporters. So like, you know, like a top 10 leaderboard on like, you know, the users that maybe gave like the most loves to their favorite creators for the month or something. Just a thought, right? Just a thought. I want to see what you guys think about that. Because I'm sure that there could be an argument made for yes and an argument made for no. So, yeah.
Let's see what the people are saying, Kyle.
What do you think about it, Noah?
I agree with it. But before I go into that, let me also, I want to also give this bit of a teaser. We currently have a person in the room who is going to be featured, if not the next one, but the next Creators in Focus. So I'm just going to say that. I'm going to leave it to you guys to try to figure out who that'll be. All right, I'm done.
Here, I'm going to invite, we have a hand raised. I will go ahead and invite you up. To answer your question, though, Morgan, where, you know, you said this takes you out of the app, but can you have a way so you can look at it inside of the app? So that was kind of the second half to what I was thinking, where it would be put on the website along with inside of the app. So it would like our Fanbase account, like the actual Fanbase profile that's on Fanbase, right? That account would be posting the leaderboards for their feed, right? So then that way everybody could go to the Fanbase account. Like, let's just say we do it, you know, I like punctuality stuff, you know, and like being consistent. So if it's, you know, maybe every 2 weeks, you know, we update those leaderboards, right? So like, you know, every other Thursday we post those leaderboards and the you know, like the new ranks essentially, right? On the Fanbase profile. So that way everybody inside the app can go to the Fanbase profile. They know on Thursday at like 4 p.m. Eastern time, those leaderboards are going to be posted in there, and check it out that way.
Okay. So I missed part of the conversation about leaderboard. No, you have a little bit of that going on. Okay, thank you. So I didn't catch the whole thing, but I did have some thoughts for you, because I remember when I was in a room when we first had this conversation just about other like benefits other than monetary compensation to, you know, build morale and to engage and build community and things. So I think, you know, the thought process is, my first thought is I do think like people who are doing, you know, amazing things to consistently be recognized, you know, for that, that's great. But I think the real key is should be based on effort. Like, so like that anybody has the opportunity, because it can get predictable after a while, right? I mean, you have and I think you mentioned something about that just now, but you have certain people who are just going to consistently, I mean, their level of followership or their clout and all that kind of stuff. So they'll consistently be at the top of those things. But if you have things where anybody, like you said, like the most loves and things of that nature. But one of the things I guess I'm thinking is along the lines is, a leaderboard for who engaged the most content, or things of that nature, right? Like who engaged others and things like that. So things that people can, have some level of control over it, and they can participate regardless of who they are. So I think things like that would be exciting.
100%.
Okay, yeah. So I just wanted to they're just saying, I think you're thinking along that lines, but I was just thinking, because I'm thinking like, what is, like, when you have these boards, like what is the eventual outcome? And I wouldn't want to create what do you call it, apathy, because it's like, certain people are like, oh, look at that person, because they already do it. Like, so for instance, there's certain rooms that get promoted on the app, right? Like certain people get promoted, their rooms get promoted, and so you have like a whole bunch of other people saying, hey, all those people are, our favorites, or for whatever reason, and their rooms get promoted. So I think that if there's an opportunity for anybody to be able to rank on these leaderboards based on their efforts, for the, I'm saying for the week. So maybe it wouldn't always be like, well, who had the most people in rooms or anything of that nature. Or, I mean, it could be the person who opened up most rooms, or who was consistent, who's been the most consistent from opening up a room every single day, regardless of, how many, I mean, I don't want people just open up a room, but do you see what I'm saying? Like, there could be things that can be done to engage the majority of people who are not going to be able to put big numbers up otherwise, because they don't have the followership, have the cloud, and so forth. So
yeah, no, 100% agree. And I fully believe in that sentiment as well. That's so. Okay, I'm going to make sure it's not a tangent. That's why I love using these rooms. When I propose ideas, or come up with ideas and have at least like a base level structure for it and stuff like that, and then present it. I love presenting it, and then like getting feedback on it, because while myself, like me, I've become very good at like poking holes in my own ideas, and then fixing those holes, right? I like to get as many other people's input as possible on it, because you never know who's going to poke the right holes in your idea. So then that way it just strengthens it even more, right? And that was one of the holes that I almost immediately poked in that leaderboard idea, Butterfly. So I'm really glad that you brought that up, so I could, because I did not talk about it, but I wanted, with the leaderboards, right, since the main thing for me is I am doing everything I possibly can to get discoverability and visibility maximized on the app. And that's not just, for certain groups or certain creators, like whatever it might be. I want everybody. Like, I want a brand new user of the app to be able to come onto the app and then have their stuff seen, or, let's just say they do migrate like all of their, YouTube, like, or IG content over. And, you guys know how it works right now, right? Where you see stuff in your feed basically on who you follow, right? And, discoverability, let's be real, right? Discoverability as of right now on the app is lacking, right? We all know that. And so, leaderboards was something that I thought of to help supplement that, and strengthen it. And yeah, I want everybody to be able to be recognized and shown off, essentially, regardless of monetary reasons, right? Even though fan base is like, hey, monetization day one, no hoops to jump through, just input that information in the revenue profile, so that way we know where to send your money to, and that's it. Like, and you're you're good. But the idea of only showing those those people in the community that gave loves or have the most subscriptions, that stuff that then takes away from others who may not have $200 a month to spend on loves, right? That takes away from their potential, So I was thinking of that, just overall, who engages with the most content for creators. But yeah, making it a broader thing, which did give me some roadblocks, because I now have to kind of figure out how to go inside of our, insight and analytics, server and cloud, and pull all of that, how I'm going to best do that. But it is, that is definitely something that I did have and I thought of. But also, I don't know how I forgot to mention this, the up and coming leaderboard, right? Up and coming, because right now, again, we don't have that discoverability where if you join the app, you're not just going to be able to start getting all of your stuff seen, right? So I am not 100% sure on how I'm going to implement that into how I'm able to get a list of creators that are new and new to the app and upcoming, based on their content. But I started with, users that joined the app within the past, week, right? And who of those users that joined within the past week have uploaded the most content, or, / migrated the most content over, right? So then a leaderboard for that. So then that way those new fan base community members that are, creators, they can get their stuff seen, right? And kind of just, make it in my mind, I kind of over fantasize things for stuff like that, different situations and stuff, how that, how it plays out, right? Oh, it's really hype. I wonder who, the top 10, new creators are on the platform, right? And I want to go check out their content and see, who is coming into the app, right? What kind of content are new people bringing to our app, right? Because it's our app. When I say our app, I don't mean as a employee of Fanbase. I mean as a user of Fanbase, right? For all of us, it's all of our apps, right? And who's coming into it and what kind of content are they posting? And being able to see it, right, and support each other, whether that is monetarily or not, So it's just things like that, right? Because if we could have some amazing creators join the platform, and if they aren't seen, right, if anybody in here is a long-time creator, how it's tough. On your mental, it's tough. If you put a ton of effort and work and stuff like that into creating content and then posting it, and then you don't get any of that instant gratification, essentially, right, where it doesn't feel like your time and effort was worth what you did, based on the results that you're seeing. So then you start to doubt yourself as a creator or something, and I never want anybody to have that feeling. So yeah, I'm trying my absolute best to come up with a system that I can make where those new users that are coming onto the app are seen somehow. Somehow they're seen, right? Without requiring dev work, though. So, yeah.
Well, this is a great room, guys. We got.
Well, hold on.
Oh, you got more.
Over here trying to.
My bad.
Yeah, hold on. Over here trying to wrap it up. Bobby, welcome to the stage, man. How you doing?
Oh, my bad, Bobby. I didn't see you there. My bad.
It's all good. Thank you guys for bringing me up. I definitely wanted to say that Butterfly's input was a very, very important one. But I also want to say, I think that, it kind of, what would be dope is if you guys kind of incorporated some sort of, committee or the marketing team would sit down, and even outside of like, new people joining the app, I think like highlighting people who are doing things significant. So like you guys have maybe a list of 20 to 30 different best or most, you know what I mean? Most likes, loves shared, most content posted, most rooms open, because there still should be a bar of people in their level of activity and the results. So you have the people, I would say, like in the leaderboard, who are probably doing the, I guess, quote unquote, the best, or having like the best results, reactions. And then you have people who are doing significantly interesting things, and to categorize, right, industry, like having, people who have political rooms weekly, or people who have the dressing room, fashion room weekly, or tech rooms weekly. Like, I think some of those things should be highlighted in the way that these people have committed to dedicate a day and time to do these things. I think that those things should be highlighted so that those rooms can be bigger and bigger every week that they have their episodes. The Monday morning marketing meeting, I tune in every Monday morning, and it seems like there's a steady number, but for the amount of people that's on the app, I can only imagine that there's more people that just don't know about it. So I think these things should probably be highlighted on the website, on the app, regularly, so that more people find out about them regularly,
Bobby, I'm about to give you some music to your ears then, because for the past couple of months, I have been, probably since March or April, I think March, I have been advocating for what you were talking about, a calendar, or kind of more a like TV guide style implementation for the app, where it shows for the month, right, what rooms are on what days, what the topic is, and then who the host of that room typically is. And that is actually finally fucking coming, dude. It is, I think it is just 3 weeks away, I believe. And I don't care if I get any heat for this, whatever. I'll go ahead and tell y'all, that shit is coming. We've already been talking about it, that it is coming, but it is coming very, very soon. The calendar for audio rooms, right? Because you guys know that are normally in the room, we have been taking down you guys' info. If you guys have regularly recurring rooms on the platform. Now, again, for this to work properly, right? It has to be regularly recurring rooms. Okay. So, like the dressing room, right, is every Tuesday, at the same time, right? Or the investor town hall that Isaac and Rama do is every Tuesday at the same time, right? Same with us, right? Our marketing room is every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Rama's room is every Thursday, right? So those are regularly recurring rooms. Now, it does not mean that it has to be every week. It just means that you have to have a date, like a date and time that you do it on the regular, right? So even if it's just once a month, if it's like, hey, I do a room the last day of the month every month, because the audio room that I do on the last day of every month is to bring, anybody in that's like, $1 short of reaching the payout before the payout, for the month is sent, so then that way, like, hey, like, if you're at, $23, like in your wallet right now, you need $2 more before, like, the next day. So that way you can get your payout for the month, like, come through the room, like that kind of thing, right? Even if it's just once a month, that's fine too. We want all that information, and we've been taking down. We have a lot of rooms as of right now, and that calendar will be displayed, and it will be on web and in app, so that way everybody can know when those rooms are, right? and you don't have to just, try to guess and like go into the hallway in the app and, see when, what rooms are open and, and stuff like that. Like everybody can know. So yeah, man, that is something that I've been working on, and I'm proud is finally, coming to fruition and is going to be released here shortly. So yeah.
Yeah, man, I think that's dope. Kudos to you on pushing that, because, there's a lot of things that I see that I believe, have greatness in them. And I just always felt like they just weren't being promoted enough. You know what I mean? And I think that the key to people wanting to come here, wanting to, come back here to Fanbase would be like just understanding that there is consistency. We as people who come to the site and come to the app, we know that there are rooms that every week, but new people don't, and people outside don't, so that's definitely dope. And like I said, also outside of just that, the idea of like having a list of random achievements would be a good metric to have when putting, regular everyday people who aren't, the biggest creators or the most consistent creators, to give them their accolades in order to have a metric to go by when deciding who to highlight for what reason, as opposed to, a person who created a page and has no post and, a bunch of followers, because there's people who create pages to do audio rooms and don't post. So it's like, do you really highlight that person? Probably not. You know what I mean? You give I think giving people, highlighting certain people because they've done significant things that contribute to the app would be a good metric. But like a list of like, bought the most likes, shared the most likes, had the funniest comment. You know what I mean? Like just one of those things where you guys are kind of monitoring everything that's going on and like picking out, the highlight reel. Like what was dope in this audio room that someone said, what was dope in this audio room that somebody commented, what was a funny room that someone created, you know what I mean? So different things to highlight on that, had some significance. I think that would be cool.
Man, I love that. Yeah. Kind of like what the highlight stuff, all this, like, man, I wish I love the position that I have now, right, with Fanbase, with being the growth marketing specialist. I love it, and my whole thing has always been like community first, like community centric ideas, like what are the pain points of the community, right? Like, I mean, while I myself use Fanbase, right, I'm also an employee. So, even though like my thoughts or like recommendations, like matter, I put the most weight and like importance on, community feedback that I get from all of you guys, from, the rooms or the messages that you send me, and like all of that I put a lot of weight on, because it's to me, it's just a little different. And having something like that, right? I know that we did used to do that, but I was trying to come up with like a program that I did have to put on the back burner because I did have a lot of other things on my plate several months back. But like it was a like a community champions page, right? Essentially, right? We're just highlighting like what you were saying, and I believe with Noah and Maddie taking that to kind of like bringing that to life inside the creators and focus page, and idea that they branched off of from that whole community champion, like creator spotlight kind of thing, right? Like, Noah, did you talk about what the creators and focus page was?
Yeah, so the creators and focus page is a highlighting of notable users. We're primarily aiming for newer users, but that is not the rule, on the platform, who've just done awesome and outstanding things and deserve to be highlighted for the reasons that we have it. And there's no rule to be highlighted in creators and focus. It's just you got to stand out as the number one metric to go by. Just stand out, either if that's either you're coming onto fan base and have a large social following on external channels, if you're internal in fan base and you're creating content and you're just doing really cool things that deserve, and you're just a member of the community that everybody knows, that's how you get focused. That's how you get that email from Maddie and I saying, hey, we want to feature you. So that's it.
And I like that. I was thinking about something, but I know it's 6:13, it's past our normal time, right? So, I do want to make sure that everybody does get those questions answered. And, you guys are able to, have your voice heard, whether it's in the chat, on stage, for any feedback, comments, ideas, anything like that. Make sure you guys go ahead and get that out. But don't forget, these rooms are not the only time and place for your voice to be heard, right? We're always open for, getting messages on Fanbase, DMs or, emails or support tickets, whatever it might be, right? Just make sure that you guys utilize everything that is at the disposal. But how do you guys feel about getting surveys inside of the app, right? You open up the app for the first time in the day, and a little pop-up is, you're presented with a little pop-up, and it's a short survey, right? When I make some of these surveys, I try to make them to where they take 1 minute, right? No more than 2 minutes, but 1 minute is the sweet spot. 1 minute or less, right? Just 2-3 questions at most, and potentially an open-ended question, and that's the only reason why it would take any longer than a minute. But it's just depending on how much you want to type in that open-ended question. How do you guys feel about the surveys? Because I don't want to overwhelm. I want to make sure that nobody feels overwhelmed or annoyed by the surveys. Even though you don't have to participate in them, you can just click out of them. You can click close or no, whatever it might be. You don't have to participate, but it's just one of those where even though you don't have to participate in it, I don't want to overwhelm anybody. You know what I mean? So I just want to get kind of what's the temperature on that? Are we okay with it? Are we not okay? Do you guys see it as an annoyance, or do you guys see it as hey, this is awesome that they do that because now I get my voice heard on this, specifically, right? My voice is being heard directly. How do you guys kind of view that?
What if it was the fan base page posting or posing certain questions in the post so that they can look to the comments? Because surveys are tricky, with people. It's sort of random emails, essentially. If you're not expecting it, you come in here for a certain purpose or a certain relief, and you get in a survey randomly, it could be off-putting. So I'm thinking if you email, high-functioning creators, to get their input because they're clearly investing a lot of time in the app. So maybe hitting them direct and asking them to do a survey, or some kind of prompt or email to all users asking them if they want to do a survey. But I don't know. I don't know about a pop-up. It's I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily care for a pop-up. I'll hit the X. I'll look for the X as fast as I can to get that thing off the screen. That's me personally. Some people may like it, but I'm thinking if you get an input from people who are highly investing time, then those will probably be people more willing to share their feelings and opinions. So maybe a post where people can choose whether to chime in or not on the question to be asked. That's what I'm thinking.
Man, I'm so glad you said that because I did. That was one of my suggestions, was to create a poll, but as a post, where it was, instead of having it to be, because there's a couple holes still with that idea, right? And one of the biggest holes for that idea was maybe just too too many different things can be gone off topic. I mean, whatever it might be, right? But like the easiest way I could think of was to have like a poll posted, like you said, like on the fan base page, and have it be like a multiple choice thing, right? Where is like which one would be better, like posting it and then getting feedback from everybody, like on the post itself in the comments, or like sending the pop-up to the people, like with the same thing, like it's like a one question survey, like a one question thing, right? And it's just like a multiple choice, like A, B, C, D, like which feature, like just for example, like the one I'm thinking of, the one I'm kind of like working on right now, right, is like like what feature do you believe like would essentially help fan base either grow, or like which one is the most important to you, right? And the answer choices could be something like dark mode, carousel, reposting to stories, like reposting other creators' content like on your page to give them more visibility, and then whatever else it might be, right? And like features that we have on the roadmap but don't have release dates yet, you know what I mean? So then that way it kind of, I'm able to take that and then show it, because that's insight and data driven decision making. That's what I'm about. Like I'm about like insight and data driven decision making. It doesn't, like, it should never matter what I feel is best, like to make my decision. But like for a scenario like this, right? But it should come from everybody, so like something like that is what I was thinking of, because like those are some of the most requested features, but they don't have a release date yet. So it might help like prioritize certain features over others for like right now. Because Rama did that. We were talking about it. Rama did it in his Tech Talk room probably like 2 months ago. Took a poll, asked like I think he had a list of probably like 13 features, 14 features, and then based on the amount of votes that each one got, that's how we like staged this quarter's prioritization for features. So but that's what I was trying to like gauge, is like it does seem like very divided, like it seems like half and half, which is exactly what I was expecting. Is that half of you guys would be like, yeah, surveys, those are cool, I love them. Other half is like, I don't really want to do that. Like I don't want to be bothered with a survey, but like I'll give you an answer in a different form. So yeah, those are perfect responses to it.
Hey Kyle, Queen B got the solution, incentive. You offer to do a survey and you get rewarded by giving loves.
Yep. That's
an idea we already have, man.
Yep. That's something that I've been. It's not just that; it's so much more than that. Like the feature that I've been working on with dev team, and I've been working on this shit since like just such a long time. But other things get put in front, so other things have to get put on the back burner. But like rewarding loves to anyone who responds to certain things, that is what I have been trying to do for, and it'd be like a multiple step thing, like not all at once, but it would be kind of like a checklist essentially, right? Where you could see, like I usually call them bounty boards, right? And I doubt that's what they'll actually be called, like when it comes out, right? But like the concept of a bounty board for me is like that you can log in to Fanbase, you can open up Fanbase, and you can see all of the different bounties, right? And how much loves they reward you, right? And so you can choose which ones you want to do, which ones you want to respond to, which actions you want to take, like whatever it might be, right? But you have the choice as the user to select which ones, and then you can see how many loves you're going to be compensated for your time, right? So yeah, I've been working on that, and I love that. It's just, it's being reworked on like exactly how it's going to be implemented inside of the app, but it is coming, and that is one of my OKRs for the quarter. So hopefully it gets released before the end of the quarter. So before the end of September. So be on the lookout for that.
All right. Let's see real quick. Okay. All right, y'all. So it's 6:23. Waiting for Kyle, just in case.
No, I think we're all good. We can wrap this up. Thank you guys for the extra 23 minutes of your day and your time that you guys gave us. Skell, can't please everyone, right? That's always, like the elephant in the room for anything, right? You can't please everyone. I am a very optimistic person, and I know that you can't please everyone in one single fell swoop, but you can. At least the way that I think, right? I'm not saying this is a fact, but the way I think is that while you can't do it all at once, you can please everyone by doing like multiple sets, essentially, right? So like, let's just say 50% of the user base is, really, really happy about this one thing, and then the other 50% are not, right? But then the next thing you put out, that 50% that was not happy, right now they're happy, and then the other ones, they're like, well, we got like what we wanted, the other time. So like now it's like, we're not unhappy, but we don't really care about this thing, right? So like eventually it's like a cycle, like everybody, kind of is pleased essentially. That's just how I think of it. That's what I try to do. I'm not saying that I try to do things that are going to only please like a certain portion of everyone, and then I don't do it like that, but I'm like, okay, well, if only this percentage of like people are like happy about this, like what else can we do to like increase that like overall, you know what I mean? Like make sure that like everybody has a positive experience, and like you guys use Fanbase and you're like, wow, like I don't hate it, you know what I mean? Like something like that. So yeah, well. Yep, like Noah said, we really appreciate you guys. We love to do these rooms. We will see you guys next Wednesday, same time, same damn place. Don't forget Rama's Tech Talk tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. If you guys want to learn more in depth about what's coming in the future, like both near and far, for the product roadmap. I usually wait to say things until I know he's announced it. So there are a couple things that I've been wanting to tell you guys exactly, but you'll probably hear them tomorrow in his Tech Talk. So be there or be square, or that's up to you. But we'll see you guys. I will be in that room tomorrow, so I'll see you guys in the chat there. But other than that, you guys have a blessed Wednesday and enjoy your night, all right?
We out here.